I had the offer to do a solo album, and I decided to do an album that became named Stickman, and Pat seemed the right guy to play on that. And it was after that album, I got the feeling that it would be nice to have a band with more than one stick and see how far we could go with just 3 guys, but each of whom plays more than the standard instrument.
In Poland, a guy offered me a drum clinic. He's had me 2 or 3 times over there. He said, bring whatever project you want. And we rehearsed in a Polish radio station on rental gear. That's how we first started to learn the tunes there. And I think we played 3 gigs in Poland, came back, had a little break for Christmas. That was in October, those gigs in Poland. And then played with Eddie Jobson in New York as our kind of first debut gig.
When Pat asked me, or told me that he's going to suggest me to you, Tony, he also asked me to come up with some ideas for new music. And actually 4 or 5 of those pieces are actually on the record now.
But the woman in Moscow was dancing on stage
Almost
during
naked.
sound check. And then she came back later almost naked, dancing on stage. And all the crew, maybe there were 30 crew around. Nobody, I think I learned an axiom about life. Nobody stops a woman who wants to dance naked.
We're all on time, would have been great, and then a click. And then, trying to get AAA, and before AAA ever got there was a guy around the hotel that had jumper cables in his car.
The craziest for me was in Mar del Plata, that show, where it seemed like people were almost stepping onto each other after the gig, and we were behind that counter, and that was crazy to me. I mean, it wasn't like an encounter with one person, but an encounter with a crowd, and that was scary.
Thank you. Big job.
I'm moving my hair, that's all I'm doing.
Now, give me that perplexed. When I walked up, you're doing this kind of like looking at the back of the desk going, what the hell is... But it's a Midas, right? You're okay today. That's a nice desk.
Yeah, it's just moving the friggin' hair out of my face.
And once again, they have a mixing underneath the canopy here, which sounds nothing like it does when you go out here. This is a whole different world out here. You can even tell the difference in my voice, maybe, how much different it sounds. So that's always the shit, if they put the mixer back there. If they put him out here where he should be, then they can't sell the seats. So that's the way it goes in our business. Nice place. Probably too nice for us.
Well, the beat's gone now.
Give me that beat again. You had that 7 thing going. He was strutting.
Wasn't it the second day that your instrument fell out of the back of the van?
Yes, that was
You're learning what the road
the
is
next
really
morning.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that first van ride was what, about like this, right? Being crushed in a van for a long time.
And how about the taxi in Buenos Aires with Frazza had his head out the window, our engineer Robert Frazza. There wasn't room for him in the taxi for his head and his body.
So it's things you don't think about when you're touring very much is, oh yeah, we're going to play gigs, but you're also going to spend most of your time traveling and dealing with crappy gear and hotels and getting up really early. Today we've been working here.
I think it's interesting how the pieces come from different places. Like you said, you wrote it a long time ago before we even formed the band.
Yeah.
And did you alter them or present them to us and then they got altered?
Well, like a piece like Horatio is exactly the same that it was when I wrote it. Other pieces like On Off, for example, is a piece that I wrote in 1994.
Really?
And that I played with a completely different trio with two guitarists and me playing Chapman stick back then. So that piece was obviously open for additions, because it was only a chord sequence. So you came up with that beautiful melody for that. And
Concussion, I remember when we were at Pat's that you had a tremendously powerful beginning theme, and then we just kind of didn't know what to do after that. And then, 6 months later, or is it longer? A long time later, you filled that in with a really good compositional idea. Like before, I'm going to start it before. Then we go. Okay, 4 beats?
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay.
Oops, a lot more than 4 beats.
It was 6, right?
Yep.
4, 5, 6.
You made me think of something about Nude when I played over Nude, the track you originally sent. At the end, it seemed like a mess to me, and I go, Tony, what am I supposed to do at the end? And you said, well, make it sound like you're falling down the stairs.
my wife was working in Linz in Austria, and she was preparing a performance, and I was in the hotel room and started thinking about this improv album we wanted to work on, and I thought, okay, it would be good to have something like a soundscapey thing, something that works like a backdrop that we can improvise on. And I didn't want to go that way of using the same old scales, pentatonic scales, so I went back to an email I got like 5, 6, 7 years ago, which from a friend who plays Bansuri flute. So I picked, like 3, 4 of those Indian scales, and then played those soundscapes. And actually two pieces on Open are based, no, three pieces are based on this one really beautiful Indian scale. And so that was the beginning of that album. But then we just got together and we just played together for a day, maybe effectively like maybe 4 hours or something.
I'd done most of the drumming at home and then prepared that by pre-mixing it and loading it into Ableton in my laptop. So when we did the session at Tony's, I had my laptop and my iPhone and my iPad and improvised with these tools. The real joy comes in taking that back to the stage where you start to improvise over the improvisation.
Part of the thing about you form a band and you get your music and you get so you can play your music well, but the reality of touring, and we love to tour, and we tour really all over the place. It's different all the time. There's variables, and it really maybe took us a few years of doing it to where we felt how the audience feels is really different than how the band feels. We feel like we're doing really our thing in valid music as we can make, even with all of the curveballs that are sent to us through the vagaries of travel and of equipment.
Life on the road, life on the road. Counting the merch, very important, very important. More important, getting rid of the buzz. These are daily occurrences, counting the merch and fixing the buzz.
This question about anecdotes is kind of funny to me because I can completely relate to it as somebody who's not on tour. But because, I mean, when you're on tour, there's at least a handful of anecdotes every day.
Fuck. That hurt. I ended up on a seatbelt. I'm impaled on a seatbelt.
We're coming back the next day from Russia. You must have been in a different car or something, Tony. It was Markus and I with the promoter, Sasha. You were in the back seat, remember? And Sasha reaches over and he starts massaging me. I go, man, that feels great. And then he goes, you do that to me right here. It's like, so for the next 45 minutes to the drive in traffic, I'm massaging the promoter. Like, great.
Was he driving?
Yes, he's driving. Markus is
He was
behind.
massaging you while he's driving?
He just reached over with one hand. He
all
rubbed
right,
my neck for like 20 seconds.
only Moscow traffic.
Just to demonstrate how he'd like to be taken care of, you know.
You guys were late for that gig, now I know why.
Pasta?
Que es panzotti.
Panzotti.
Panzotti. It's like empanada, but
the same, cheese and...
No. This is
Beetroot and corn inside.
corn.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a taste of that.
We're having our first Argentine dinner. Beetroot. And Markus is going to have the humeta. Is that how we pronounce it? Humita.
Humita.
The special corn is coming. Here we go. Dun, da, 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 da. A lot of times on the road, you know, it's feast or famine. You get a great meal, then you don't get a chance to eat, or there's a great meal, but it's at 7:30 and you play at 8, so you really can't eat. And you come off 9, 10 o'clock, and that food's gone.
Here's the backstage life, and I gotta tell you, these smell great. You can't smell them, but they smell really good. Don't they smell good?
Even if it's the dog food, right?
It is the dog's food.
Super Collider, Super Collider. They got a super collider near Geneva, so big it reaches under France. You know, a super collider shoots particles, so scientists can watch them dance. They built a super collider down in Texas
20 miles of tunnels they could pave. Cost so much they never finished it. They should have rented it out and had a rate.
Hey, I won a super collider for my birthday. I got a big basement I could fit it in. I'll have you all come over for a party, and we can go downstairs and take that sucker for a spin. Build a super collider, and I don't think they want to have me in the loop. But I do know if they make a mess of it, that we could all be swimming in a cup of primordial soup.
Honey, I'm home. Honey, I'm home. Honey, I'm home. Oh, Christ, I've locked myself in. Jesus Crumba, what do I do? Do I hit the panic button? I'm locked in. This is panic. I'm freaking out. It's hot and I'm locked in. Oh God, please. No. No, how do I get out? My phone's dead. I can't call for help. Oh, Jesus. Sweet, please help me. Door opening. Oh. No. Door closing, door opening. No. I think I have to call for help.
Oh, there's internet.
I'm thinking of crazy fans. How about that guy, Robert Fripp, who came to see us in England? He seemed a little crazy.
He's kind of quiet.
Yeah, not so crazy.
I don't need your dirty money, Get out of it. are not as greedy Americans. We always buy.
I was offering to pay. What are you? You're Soviet socialist. Please, buy my beer.
No, I would never accept money from you.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it back because I'm capitalist all the way.
Any Patriots?
I don't know, but I've seen the Rolling Stones. That's something when you become a matryoshka.
Thinking back to your Mr. days,
Kyrie eleison down.
how does it feel to go from an audience of screaming young women to the not very young, not very female audience you have now?
Thank you so much. Markus Reuter, Pat Mastelotto, Tony Levin, thank you.
I suppose when you're living the anecdotes, you don't really file them as, hey, I'm going to tell somebody this. It's just there you are, and you share. That's why through the years you get a band sense. It's pretty special because you share all this history. Bands accumulate history together pretty quickly.
Started out with that 1 week of playing in the US, and then we did the South America tour. At that point it felt like we'd become a band.
We understand inside what it is and we share that. And so that sense of band kind of cements you together even through all the troubles you have as a band.